Okay, so we are doing this yet again. This is like the third or fourth time. I'm going to do a live video this morning from the house using the Mac and not using my phone. Um, I pay every year or whatever for this Ecamm Live, so we might as well get some use out of it. I'm not doing it from the mobile Just Fish maintenance vehicle this morning because the jobs were in Ocean Springs today, and there was just a couple, so Raj knocked them out. So I figured, well, the people are going to be wondering where is their morning video. So here we go. This is what we're doing right now. So, God, I hope this is working. Otherwise, I'm just feeling really. I'm going to feel really stupid talking to my own self if I don't know of anything happening here. Oh, awesome. So I do see something on the screen. Good morning, Mario. So this is something I can't do with the telephone. Yeah. So using a laptop actually has some advantages, and I get to play around with. I haven't quite figured it out, but I've put the logo on my fish tank. So seeing my aquarium, you actually see a part of the logo, which is pretty cool. There's all kinds of things I don't understand here, but I wanted to do a video and talk about some of the things I have written on the wall. So for those of you who come into the store, you see all kinds of goofy things that I've written on the wall. And, I jokingly called these Gerwinisms, things that Gerwin just happens to say a lot. So, Mario, are you the only one on Friday morning paying attention? Please answer. Chop, chop. There we go. There's another one. That's my IT guy now. That's my impromptu IT guy, Kyle. One day he'll actually come down. And there you go. Good morning, Mr. Hardman and Mr. Bear. Good. Now I'm starting to see some names pop up. And Barbosa. Barbosa's in the house. Yeah, Kyle. One day, of course, you just run wire and make computers work. So I don't know if you can help me perform better if I decided to try to use the computer more often. But anyway, I've got these a nerd mercenary. What you get when you cross a geek with a off-roading giant is you get a nerd mercenary, a guy that's totally you would not picture him talking all this techno stuff and IP addresses, and I can't even think of things to say because I don't know that talk. But anyway, oh, Bear, you're supposed to be coming down to Biloxi, and I think I'm supposed to try to possibly help you move some cabinets or something here in a little while. Make sure you give me a heads up on that. Anyway, buy once, cry once. I've talked about this off and on, but I think I do a lot of the talking about it when I'm actually in the store, when people are up there and they're like, you're reading the different things, and they're reading. You can tell what they're doing because they're looking at the wall and they're reading. And some of them, you see them smile, they get it. And the other ones, they just like, I don't understand. And I did not coin buy once, cry once. That's been around for, as long as I don't even know. I don't know how long it's been around, but I've always liked it, and I tend to say it a lot. And that simply means, well, I could just go buy a flip phone or a burner phone for $20, And I can make a phone call, and I might even be able to send a text. But maybe I'm not taking high quality videos to do morning talking on Facebook Live. Maybe I'm not capable of giving you the kind of pictures that you want to see on a video I do on the kind of fish I have in the store, or a product, or a stand, or anything. And so then I go looking for phones, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, this phone's supposed to have like one of the most badass picture taking things out there. I guess I need to buy that. Well, what about the contract you signed, or the other phone you bought, and all those other things that now you just wasted all that money. You wasted that money, and you ended up getting what you really needed to begin with. But maybe you didn't know what you needed to begin with, right? So that's the reason a lot of people do it. It's not because they're cheap. It's not because they weren't willing to spend. It's like, oh shit, when I first when texting was a thing, I did not think that was ever a real thing. It's like, who texts? I mean, that's what a telephone is for. You talk to somebody. Why in the world would I want to text? I didn't know. I was old geezer. So I didn't know. Now I know. Now I texting is cool. Texting is a way to establish a line of communication with somebody that you really don't need to engage in a long conversation with. You just need to know a yes, no, might have, a cost, whatever. You can do it when you're watching TV and not interrupt anybody else. You can do it when you don't want to be heard. You can do it when you're in an office setting. So yeah, texting is real. I get it. I get it. But I didn't know that in the beginning, therefore I didn't care about a phone that could do it. I was using the one where when I did text, you hit the number one like 2 times for a A, and then again for a B, and then again for a C, and then for a capital A, right? You guys remember? Well, some of you maybe you don't remember. But yeah, anyway, that's just an example. If someone would have told me, someone would have told me that, I would have believed that this is going to be the next breakthrough in communication. Well, I just would have went for the phone that would have got me there very quick. So this is where buy once, cry once comes into the aquarium industry, or into the just fish store anyway. I shouldn't say the industry. I like to try to educate as much as I can, so you guys don't do that. And this is why I always ask, what is your goal? What is the end game? Because if I know the end game, I can help you maybe only cry one time, right? So Gerwin talked me into buying a $400 light. My wife's gonna kill me. Odds are your wife was gonna kill you when you bought the $100 light, right? So let's just get the beat downs done now. When it comes over, you still got the badass light, and you only got punched once. You didn't get punched twice, because now you spent money. Can you already hear that conversation? I mean, I'm hearing it right now. I'm playing it in my head. Didn't you just buy a light just like 2 months ago that you told me you needed, because it was the light that was going to keep all this stuff alive that you said I needed to have because I liked it when I really don't give a shit about your hobby. I'm just dealing with it because it's you. And then you walk in with that other light. And now you spent how much for this light? And exactly what does it do better? Right? So maybe buy once, cry once. Really, maybe it's coming to me. Like I tell you guys so many things. Things come to me while I talk. In reality, this is not about crying over the money. It's crying over getting beat down twice. It's like the first time was bad enough, and now I got to go tell him or her, well, I didn't know, and now I know. And you end up having to buy another light. Or, see, who do I got here right now? James, good morning, and Tim, good morning, and Greg Lott, good morning. 3 months later, the $900 light. There you go. Mario says, I see the light. Yes, Mario does see the light. I'm actually, and LaRose, I should have bought a 200-gallon tank. I'm actually proud of a lot of you. I'm going to, Mario's right here. So we'll just talk about Mario. And Mario's a good sport. Everybody really is a pretty good sport that comes to the store because I might come across a little sarcastic, but I try to. I mean, it's all in fun, right? We have a good time. That's just my personality, and I have to gather that the people who tolerate me, they also like that personality, and or they are someone like that as well. But Mario has really become, I'm going to say, he's become a good student. It's not that he was a bad student, but where Mario might have second guessed spending money now, in the past rather, not so much anymore. He sees and believes, and he, like yesterday, and Mr. Hardman, Hardman and he both bought a Gyra yesterday. I need that. I need more flow. I'll take that. They didn't go look anymore at the $20 suction cup wave maker. They have learned. I think Mr. Hardman has learned from mistakes prior purchasing. Before he became a just fish guy, he was a nomad, just cruising the coast and wherever to find things. And now he's come around. We talk. He's learning how to do gravel vacuuming. He's learning about better lighting systems. He's understanding flow. He's understanding the reef concept, and he's putting it right there. Right? Once you buy enough stuff and got bad information, you tend to just want to not do that anymore, and you just want to buy better stuff and get better information. I truly believe that to be true. Font Knot's in. Since we're talking lights, what would be a good set of lights for me? And you figured it out too, didn't you, Mario? Tim Hale. So, hey, look, we talk about it right now. This feeds right into buy once, cry once. What is the end game? What is the end game? Right? If you don't, and you just can't say your end game, gang. You have to know your end game. You have to be able to say, pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt, I want a reef tank. That's the end game. That doesn't mean that you have to go from here to there in a month or a year or a day. But if you know you want to be here, everything we do from this point should at least have the ability to be part of this game up here. Does that make sense? I mean, what's the sense in buying something that doesn't actually have any use for this end game? But I've preached this my entire life. I preached it during my paintball times. I preach it during my shooting training or teaching. People tend not to be very honest with themselves. And I think it's just human nature. Everybody wanted to think they were a better paintball player than they were, right? Everybody likes to think they're a better shot than they are. So when you lie to yourself, how can you get better? If you believe that you truly are this prodigy, then you won't excel at the same rate the person who really can say, hey, you don't have to say I suck. No, you don't have to say that. You just have to be able to say, I am not at this level. So I'm going to work to get to that level. And as you work, that climb becomes very apparent and very noticeable. But if you think you're already up here and you're not, Then all that happens then is a whole bunch of failure. In the paintball world, those dudes just got smashed all the time. They got the shit shot out of them because they thought they were good enough to go up against me or Raj because they were just too cocky. Boom. In the shooting world, they think they're good and they think they're going to go smash, and then you get disappointment. And some people don't deal with disappointment well. You have a few heartaches in the hobby, the aquarium hobby or whatever hobby, and you just, rather than try to work harder to get where you want to get, you just quit. It's easier to quit. Now you really crying twice because you didn't spend that money, and now you're going to cry because you didn't use not a damn thing you spent. That's why, besides knowing your goal, I like to make sure you understand that this is not just a passing thing. If we're going to spend money and we're going to invest time into this, it needs to be something you enjoy. It needs to be something you want to do. And for that reason, maybe sometimes buying a smaller tank isn't necessarily a total waste of money. Maybe buying that smaller tank and in just investing a smaller amount will allow you the opportunity to see, is this really for me? Or did I just go by Bob's house and Bob had a really pretty fish tank, so I think I want one too because Bob has one. And then you find out you actually have to work and or spend money. And all of a sudden, somebody's buying a fish tank cheap on Craigslist and you lose money and you're crying again. So, yeah, the buy once, cry once has so many directions it can go. I mean, it really can. It can be in the conversation about you buy this one time and you stick with it. Because if you don't stick with it, then you've wasted money and you're crying about all the money you spent, right? It could be not about the money at all or your love or disdain for a hobby as time goes on, but it could be about, like I said earlier, your other half, your significant other in your household that finds out that you're buying things more than one time. In Mr. Waite's case, he's willing to wait to get the bigger sterilizer because not only is the bigger sterilizer going to do a better job for him, even though the smaller one is like right on that line, it might do the job. And yeah, it might be $80, $90, $100 less money. But if I wait and get the bigger one, I know it's going to do the job. And I might be able to use that one on a bigger fish tank. Right? So then I'm only buying it one time. I'm not having to go back and buy this again. That's the value of sometimes stopping, think, observe, plan. Right? I'll share. This has been an acronym, and my dad taught me this so many years ago, and it has paid off so many times for me. And when I don't use it, I wish I did. And you take the word stop, and then you break the letters down, and it is S is stop. Think, observe, plan. Follow that when you come into the store. Plan. Plan for your future. What we got here? Yep, that is the truth. Radeon, we're all going to have to add more light. Yes, Camises. And Camises, because you bought good light, you're only going to have to buy another one to add on. That's right. Twin says, do you really enjoy the hobby? Do you like money? If yes to both, buy the top dollar stuff to prevent headaches down the road. Yes. And El Chapo is on. All right, we got some people coming in. Got Tiffany Phillips, a newer name. Jeez, wait. James says, double down. Get me the 57 watt. Yeah. So what Twin is talking about is, and there's some truth to what he's saying, but generally speaking, the high end stuff comes with another level of support that you don't necessarily get with the big distribution products. Not that the big distribution products suck, but generally speaking, when you go to the boutique line products, the customer support is generally another level up. I'm not saying that's 100%, but with brands like Ecotech and Neptune, um, AI, these are companies that have definitely set themselves as standouts in the service department. Now, I'm going to kind of quantify or qualify that a little bit more. These companies were really like, I mean, top notch in the early days. In the early days, the customer base was like, this big. But what happens is, because of their customer service and because of their quality of their product, their customer base is now like this. So what happens is there's sometimes delays in that help. And that sucks, but I guess that's just part of growth. And that's always the scary part for me. I feel sometimes like I can't necessarily help everybody like I want to help everybody. There's just either one, I'm busy trying to help this person so much that I'm neglecting, this one over here. And it's not neglect, but I can't get to fast enough. I can't share in the fun or the reasoning or the help that I want to. And, then I see like some of my peeps walking around like zombies in this store, touching things, just touching things. But and then others are like standing right here. Like as soon as I'm done, I know I'm gonna be talking to them. Well, yeah, what you got? So I got my zombies, and then I got my starers. They're like right here. It's like it's awesome though. So Tim, your light question, yes. So I start reading this stuff and I forget, man. So it's really gonna come down to the monies, bro. Um, there's a bunch of good products out there. I am definitely on. You got a big tank, so I'm definitely going to be an Aqua Illumination fan and a Radeon fan. So I'm going to put those two out there first. Those are the ones I keep at the store. It's the ones I use at the store. It's ones we used on probably 99% of the builds that we do for our clients. So we have a depth of knowledge with those lighting systems that helps us help you. And their customer support is fantastic. That being said, I can get and sell anything. So if you want max back razors, if you want Kessels, Reef Brights, I can get all of it. There's no reason for you to have to worry about going online. I can get it. I know some people already. They're like, well, I just don't want to tell Gerwin I want this thing because I know he really wants to sell me this thing. No, I don't. I just want to sell you, but I want to give you my thoughts. And if the thoughts make any sense to you, maybe you kind of think about it. Remember, stop, think, observe, plan. Um, like I had some good customers bought they went to Kessel. They went the Kessel route. And I bought the Kessels. I ordered them for them. So they got their Kessels. And I think it was they're good lights. But I don't know if in the beginning it's like, well, you get this Kessel and it only costs this much money. So they're good lights and the cost is not a lot. Not as much. So we can save $100 a light or something. And then next thing you know, we're having to buy these cables that link these things together. And then we're buying this other thing, this controller thing that then puts that stuff together and allows you to do these other things. By the time we're done, um, it's like you didn't save no money. Now, maybe you got the light that the reviews you read were awesome and it sounded like it did everything you wanted it to do, and that's cool. But at the end of the day, they all end up costing. They all end up costing about the same. So then you have to really think, well, do I want to be able to just walk in somewhere and get a wealth of knowledge and support, or go online and find a wealth of knowledge of support, or do I want to be sort of on my own out there just figuring it out? It's like the Chinese black boxes. Someone comes in, well, I got Chinese black boxes. Hey, don't be ashamed. I mean, it is what it is. That's what you could afford to do. The general longevity is not good. The controllability is not as good. But just for like stepping on a gas pedal and going, yeah, they're going to work. They're going to be powerful. It's just, mounting them, the size, the versatility, the programmability, the support, the community support just doesn't really exist for those people, because generally the serious hobbyists aren't buying those. So if the serious hobbyists aren't buying those, then you're getting the less than serious hobbyists who really aren't going to do a whole lot of effort to figure crap out. I mean, that's like saying, what's that? Oh, that's like saying there's this AMC Pacer, Facebook group where they're all working on making their AMC Pacers high speed. Well, that group will be all happy amongst themselves, but they'll never be this group over here with this group over here, right? I mean, it is what it is. Nothing. I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but it is what it is. John. Good morning, John. John, no food or fellowship online. That's right. You come for the fellowship. You have signal today. Oh, they're talking to each other. I just want Mona Lisa. So, dude, you're looking. I'm going to throw some prices out you. You're going to be looking anywhere from about, let's say, $1,200 to $2,400. There, how's that feel? My thought was, if G uses it, I'm buying the same shit, because when it don't work, it's his fault. That's right, baby. Everybody wonders how these broad shoulders can handle these peeps. John Carr had a Pacer. That'll be your first real cry. Hey, good news, Tim. You can start the layaway now, so the crying will be paced out. It'll just be a little tear. You don't have to go to a full-blown bawling. And you don't have to answer to nobody anyway, I don't think, do you? Just do not steal food off the kids' plates. Don't be like old Troy. Troy finds out his kid was supposed to be wearing a 9.5, and he's only been buying him 7.5s or leaving him 7.5 shoes. And it's kind of like, well, why ain't you letting your poor kid get bigger shoes? And he's like, because that would cost me more money, and I need it for aquarium stuff. So he can just walk around in small shoes. He didn't say that. I'm saying that. And then I had a young lady in the store a couple of days ago. It was awesome. She's walking in. She's looking at the freshwater section, and I'm like, "Oh, you are just a little too early. All the freshwater fish come tomorrow." And she's regular. She's semi-regular. She comes in enough that I know her face, and I know she enjoys her freshwater fish. So she's looking at those fish, and I mean immediately, like with no hesitation. She turns around and looks at me. No, I did that on purpose, because I know if your inventory is low, I won't buy anything. I was like, that's awesome. I said, that is great. I like it. Not only do I like I mean, she actually had me believing it for a moment because I was like, that was just too fast. There was like no lag. Like she's looking at the Cardinal Tetra tank, and I say, "Whoa, you came a little early. The fish don't come to tomorrow." I know. That's why I came today. Can't spend the money if you don't have it. Huh. Well, that's one way to save money, I guess. But you're wasting money with gasoline. So yeah, you guys always make me laugh. Pro Tim, AI Hydras. Wait likes his Hydras. I got a lot of people love their Hydras. And look, honestly, um, I meant to have, when we built the store out, I was going to have nothing but Radions and AIs. And honestly, what happened was the AIs were like out of stock. Like when I'm doing the store, it's like we don't have no Hydra 26, Hydra 32s, G. We can't keep them right now. We're behind. Uh, so we don't have them. I'm like, well, shit. Send me XR15s then, because I can't wait. I can't like not have lights over my fish tanks when I open. But no, I'm a fan of the AIs. I tell you honestly, the big reason I tend to lean a little more toward the Radeon right now than it used to be. I really, and it's like, hey, you buy whatever you like. But now that Ecotech has gone to the full panel of lights, and they all have the optics that come down, the spread and everything is just so awesome. I mean, you just get so much more clean coverage of the system. That's why I like it. But you know, AI is basically kind of using the same tech that Radeon was using because they're sister companies. So they're kind of just like whatever. Like you buy this year's, or you're buying the computer model for next year. It's got all this high speed stuff, but you can get like this year's model a little bit cheaper because it's only got this year's tech. It's not already boasting next year's tech. That's sort of where the AI is. So you're buying a product that's great, that has all the tech being used that was already successful. They're just not doing the cutting edge thing. That's right. I use that. I use that analogy all the time. You got the Lexus and you got the Toyota. Both great products. This one's going to cost more. It's going to give you a little more bells and whistles, right? But reliability, horsepower, capability, those are like this. But trim, electronics, all those things, a little bit more up here. My first real cry. No pesa for me. Oh, Miss LaRose. Mr. LaRose. It's funny how they're not even in the same location, but they signed on almost like bam bam right there. I'm just going back and reading some of these things. This is pretty cool. I actually kind of dig it. Although I'm looking at, when I use my phone, I look very sharp and crisp. I look very grainy right now, but I think that's because I'm trying to do that logo thing on my fish tank. And the whole overlay and transparency thing, I think, affects the picture. So maybe one of you guys can answer me and say, yeah, it looks really shitty. It's a really shitty picture, except for the lionfish. On my screen, lionfish looks good. I don't look so good. And Twin, on his behalf, I will say Twin has never been a person. He's always going for, he tends to want to set the sights at this. This is supposed to be the best thing. I've done enough research that I've seen this product. I'm getting this thing. Right? And that, I'm not even talking fish tanks. If we're talking, trucks or his mud riding stuff, there's like, there seems to be no entry for him, entry level. I think the closest thing that Steve ever did to entry level was when he bought the BioCube from us, you know, so many years ago, as sort of a, hey, I guess fish tanks look cool. I think I want one. I'll buy this BioCube thing, all in one. And then from there, it's like a good stock. Twin. Never thought about it like that, but Twin was a very good stock for a while. It's kind of plateaued. My investment in him has kind of been doing this. Hasn't really gone down, but we're plateaued right now. But we're getting ready for his next big move. It's a long term. I'm on a long term hold with Mr. Twin. I feel like my investment will pay off again. I can't use him for him buying stuff all the time anymore. Now I have to have him build stuff for my Jeep. Since he's temporarily in a holding pattern. He's right now he's the C-130 that just going around in circles around the airport. But he's not crashing and he's not flying off anywhere, so it works out okay. Oh, really? So John says, I'm clear, but the background is grainy. Very interesting. That's awesome. I think it's the overlay making it look like a kidnapping video. No, I told you, dog. That's I don't know about the rest of you people, but if I decide to begin a project, I can't. I don't like stopping. It's like if I'm not done, I'll be obsessed with it. So I got to try to take this thing apart and put stuff back on again. And if I got started at 6:30, and then I looked at my watch and it was like 10, and I'm like, shit, I got to go to the store. I don't want to leave. I got this going. I don't want to stop. Yeah, that's why I get started those projects at dawn, and I don't quit. There's my bottle of Flourish XL. There's the little heater light showing it's working. Oh, I see. Now that I did this to my screen, I'm seeing more options. I got 1 heart, 14 thumbs up, and 29 laughings. I'm doing my job. You guys are laughing. All right. So anyway, I hope we got off track multiple times, which is common. But, buy once, cry once. I hope some of you now get a better idea of what we're trying to say there. And maybe you can try to use it. Maybe you can kind of use it in the future to make sure you're doing something that is in line with where you're trying to be. And because I don't want this to be like some sort of thing where anybody thinks I'm not. Those who know me know I'm not trying to sell anything. It's just about honesty and trying to get you better set. But if we are being honest and we know our budget doesn't allow for this, and it won't for a long, long time, maybe where we live doesn't allow for this right now because there's just no room. Maybe our roommates won't allow for this. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you couldn't do a bigger tank, and I get it. I get it. So then our honesty says, I can be here. This is what I can do. And then we do those things that get us to here. So it's not always about being way up here with a 170-gallon bow front reef tank and you're trying to rock and roll and you're drilling it and you're doing all this stuff and you're ready to throw thousands at it. It could be down here and it's a 24 Recife or a 13-gallon Evo or a 16-gallon BioCube, and really we're just wanting to make it, we're able to throw $20 a week at it or every other week, and I still want it to be banging. Man, that's a goal, and that's all I want from everybody. I just want a goal. I want where you really can be and where you really want to be. And we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to be honest with ourselves. I give you honest talk. I give you honest, heartfelt advice, what I think is best. But it's so much easier if I know exactly what you can do and want to do. If we know those parts of the equation, then you just buy once and you cry once. We don't waste a lot of time and money. All right. So you will take my BioCube for a down payment on a Biggie tank. No. No. You bought it. You're gonna learn with that thing, and then you're gonna buy a Biggie tank too. Or Facebook Marketplace. We don't sell used tanks. Ain't nobody wants LaRose problems. I don't. Options. Big tank like that. So here you either got to buy a titanium heater that's got enough wattage to be capable of doing the job, 80 plus, 80, $90, or you're going to buy a couple mid-range heaters that equal to be big enough to do the job because you have a sump. I think that's a decent solid way to go. You buy a couple smaller ones, so if it goes bad because it's not the greatest quality, it's not enough to do anything really bad, right? The one over here ain't got enough juice to do anything, and if this one goes crazy, it doesn't have enough juice to do anything. So that would make two of them have to go bad at the same time. That's it. I know it was LaRose. I know it was. I know. We're all jokesters here. Okay. So now, because I have this capability, so what do I suggest? I don't know. We need to see how much room you're going to have in your sump. You still got skimmers and everything else to possibly buy, but I'm thinking probably two smaller ones. All right. So my next trick will be, how do I stop this on the Mac? Oh, there's a button right over here that says Finish.